Judge Meter, play me the Pillar Man theme song.
Oh my God, if only I could.
Your next words are going to be, hey, are we going to record a podcast now?
Are you going to record a podcast now?
How did... And then you're supposed to say, oh, how did he know?
How do you know?
All right, so we are now, if you've seen part one of us judging every single JoJo's character from part one, this is the sequel video, or, the continuous series. We said we'd do this, and we are. And whose channel are we on?
Judgment Meters!
And who is this I'm talking to?
Judgment Meter!
And who am I?
Judgment Meter?
No, okay. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You are MrTopTenList. I am Judgment Meter. And we are here now to talk about JoJo's Part 2, Battle Tendency. And this is Judge Meter's channel, so as her name implies, she judges. I mediate / take up half the talking time giving my own opinions because I never shut up. And, yeah. But unlike the last one where we finished Part 1, then we started watching Part 2, and then we recorded our thoughts, she just finished Part 2 right now, like 10 minutes ago. Maybe not even. So, Judge Meter, before we look at every single character in JoJo's Part 2, your thoughts?
I'm very excited to see Old Man JoJo.
I was going to say, but everything that just happened, you're looking towards the future. This is about looking towards the past.
But I have to see Season 3.
All right, well, before we see Season 3, or Part 3, we're going to judge every character in Part 2, and we're going to do it fast, because she wants to see what's up with new JoJo. But, first up, I guess we got to call him Young Joseph Joestar.
Baby JoJo.
Give me your thoughts.
He's so funny and cool.
Remember the time he did literally everything?
He does do everything, and he makes everybody crazy.
Now, how do you think he compared to Jonathan?
He's so different. He's not as much of a gentleman, but he's gentlemanly in his own way.
Remember, go on.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, and what about his fighting style? What do you like about that? His clacker balls. Everyone loves the clacker balls.
Like clacker balls.
The clacker balls. I was so sad when random flunky broke them.
I know. They were so original.
How about his real secret power? Getting the hell out of here.
I like that one. He does do that well. He really owns it.
There's actually a JoJo's fighting game from the 90s made by Capcom, who made like Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, and it's supposed to be a Part 3, but as a secret they put young JoJo in there, and his running animation backwards is the get out of here. And also when he does one of his super moves, he yells Shiza. So, and this was like 15 years before they made the anime adaptation, so they just had the manga to go off of, and they really they got the vision there. But yeah, I honestly, Young JoJo is one of my favorite JoJos. He might be my favorite, but I've only seen the anime, and I know a lot of people have good things to say about Johnny Joestar. So I gotta read Part 7 someday, or they gotta just produce the anime faster.
Part 7.
Oh, they're on Part 8 right now.
Oh my goodness.
It's still going on, but that's for another day. Yeah, Young JoJo is one of my favorites. Great attacks, mostly with the clacker balls. I like how he runs the hell out of there. And I like how we can predict everything that you're going to say. So there we go. But, we some of our most interesting conversations when we talk about the non-main character. Let's go to Caesar. Caesar Zeppeli.
Oh, I love Caesar. Caesar's so funny. I like his headband, and it took me forever to figure out what he was wearing in his headband. I'm pretty sure they're feathers.
I'm going to go with feathers. And you love his attacks.
Yeah. His bubbles.
How does his bubbles compare? Do his bubbles compare to Sailor Mercury?
They were different bubble attacks.
That's okay. You can just say that you like all of them.
I like all of them.
There we go. Attacks. I'm leading the witness, everyone. He has the one where he has turns them into little Saturns.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Just for spoilers, everyone. He was on our top 10 characters that fight with bubbles.
I didn't know him then, so the love wasn't there as much. But now I do love him. So if we redid the list,
would he be above Sailor Mercury is the question. He was number 2, everyone.
That would have been hard. But just know that he would have gotten more love.
And well, in your opinion of his death, you actually said something pretty funny when he died.
It was so sad. Why did the wall have to fall? Why did the ceiling have to fall on him?
I like that after it happened, your reaction was just like, okay, that was just unnecessary when the ceiling fell on him. He was sitting there bleeding out, and then...
It was unnecessary.
But then you got to see it. I love it when I can point out an obvious JoJo meme to you, when he yells, Shiza! Yeah.
JoJo loves him.
That's like that's one of the top JoJo ships.
They're a good ship. They fight, but they love each other.
Yes. Remember when he filled that woman with Hamon?
Yes, and a bird.
Actually, JoJo filled him with the bird, but regardless. Also, going back to that scene where they met, I like it when JoJo discovers they like squid ink pasta, and then he gets the ink all over his mouth. It reminds me of this one bit from Seinfeld where George eats eats chocolate ice cream and it just gets all over him, and it's like, how does that happen? I like how because I was always that kid that when I got ice cream, I always had like the fudge sauce on my mouth. I somehow was never clean with it, and that's why Joseph relates to me. So next up, I guess we'll finish up our hero triad here. Lisa.
She is a lady.
Yes, she is. But no, she's great. She's like pretty. She's badass. She's everything you'd want in a character.
And she doesn't know how to smoke correctly.
She was flustered at the time. Her student just kind of died.
Smoking may look cool, kids, but don't do it. It's bad for you.
Unless you want to be a hormone master. I like how you took a sip out of your mug, though, after you said that, too. See, these are the things. See, the first episode, they missed you with the beanie on. This episode, they missed you sipping tea. You don't have to get the beanie.
What I'll do next.
But Lisa. Yeah, she's just I love how cool she is. I think that she got done a little dirty in her fight against Cars, where she's
so dirty.
Where she's like, I got you, Cars. I did a cool maneuver, and then Cars is like, fooled you, and then just stabs her.
I know, I didn't like that.
I gotta say though, when they revealed that Lisa was Joseph's mother, I
had to do some serious thinking.
Well, besides
when they explain that, what do you mean she's his mom?
Biologically, and she's doing motherly.
How?
Remember the time he spied on his mother in the bathtub and said nice to the camera, and then a few days later he found out that he was looking at his mom?
Yeah. Well, Caesar told him not to.
Caesar did. What I like about when they revealed that Lisa was his mother in the To Be Continued arrow. I mean, it's always cool when that happens, when Roundabout starts playing, and then it gets to the To Be Continued, but that thing slams down. Like there's an extra ching sound effect when that happens. Like this, it was a super cocky To Be Continued arrow. It was like, yeah, we just dropped the biggest bomb on you. It's probably my favorite To Be Continued of the series. Top 10 To Be Continueds in JoJo's. But enough about the heroes for now. Let's go to some of the villains here. Let's go to the main three, the Pillar Men. Ay, 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 as the theme song would open up here. Let's go from lowest to highest of the hierarchy in which they were killed of the main three. AC/DC.
That one had my favorite name.
He's your Tom Petty of this season. Like, you didn't really care as much for him, but every time they said his name seriously, you laughed.
I was most excited.
And the funny thing is, I feel like he technically should be almost the most popular because he has the most going on in terms of like weird personality. Like he cries when he gets his arm cut off.
I know.
And that's kind of your big thing. It's like, don't be afraid to cry.
I know, he held it up inside, and then he just had to let it out.
And he was good
and
at it.
And he acknowledged that.
He did. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true.
And he told us.
And the thing about it, like a lot of, and eventually this gets even more noticeable in later seasons, but sometimes they're just band or singer names. But I like how with AC/DC, they kind of tried to hide it a bit. They say it really fast, like it's just like a name of gibberish, almost like AC/DC. Kind of like Tom Petty. It wasn't Tom Petty, it was Tom Petty. Not so much for the other ones, not that there's anything bad about the other Pillar Men names, especially our next one here. Actually, before we get to Wamu, because I love Wamu, AC/DC fought with his brain and took over Suzy Q with his hot blood.
That was so mean.
However, now, going back to what I was talking about earlier, there was that Capcom JoJo's fighting game for Part 3, and in that game, this is relevant, they had, like, every single possible character that could really fight. I shouldn't say every single possible, but they even, like, turned characters that really weren't fighters, and I'm not going to bother with their names right now because you don't know them, maybe for the audience, like Alessi, like that guy with the puppet. Like, they aren't really fighters, but they made them fighters. And they had 3 versions of the people that Anubis took over, one of which was just one of the main characters. And what I'm getting at is they had so many just random characters. If they made a fighting game for part 2, they probably would have put AC/DC possessing Suzy Q. Suzy Q would have been playable in a fighting game if Capcom was there in the 90s making a part 2 fighting game. Imagine playing possessed Suzy Q.
No, that'd be sad.
I would try to main her. She'd probably be like D tier, but I would try to main her anyway. Okay, next up, Wamu. Wamu was my favorite of the Pillar Men.
He was the wise one, right?
He was the wise one. He's also the youngest one, but he had so much honor. Like, I loved how honorable he was. I loved that he was a true gentleman about this.
Yeah, he fought Caesar.
But he knew when Caesar was done, he's like, listen, bud, you're bleeding out. I won the battle. You challenged. You came into my home, first of all. Divine Sandstorm's also a pretty badass attack. He's like, oh, outside like Team was like, a bubble. Now leave it. He's like, that doesn't concern me. That's another thing. Like, AC/DC was definitely like almost the follower, like because Wamu put the wedding ring of death in JoJo, and then AC/DC's reaction was like, I want to do that too. Yeah. I love Wamu's honor. I love Wamu's attacks. I love that he kills a bunch of zombie dudes when he was just a disembodied head.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. But next up, we got the big villain of the season, Cars.
He does not turn out to be nice.
Well, he turned out to be a Birdman.
But not a nice Birdman.
Not a nice bird. Remember when he made a squirrel?
He is not a friend to animals.
That squirrel liked him, the one that he made.
For a minute.
Yep. Hey, so Cars, he plays the leg guitar. That's pretty awesome.
It was cool in theory. In practice, it was horrible.
Didn't you like that one video we saw of him playing the Final Countdown guitar solo on Lisa's leg?
I did like that video.
Remember, he saved a dog. This was the first. This is like I think this might be the only season / part of JoJo's that doesn't have a dog dying.
Why did he save that dog?
When he was walking around in Germany, just like with his hair hidden and just like in his robe, and he like takes out his bone blade because the dog was about to get run over by those drivers that weren't paying attention, and then he just takes out his bone blade, slices the car, and it curves off the road, and the dog's okay.
No, but why does he do it?
Because he probably likes dogs. He just doesn't like squirrels. I like when he chops off that guy's arms too, like his friend in the car is just like, what's wrong with your arms, man? I don't know. What's wrong with a guy's arms who aren't attached when they were just attached a second ago?
No, something's different.
Cars is cool, though. I just, he's not my favorite Pillar Man. Favorite one in the season, Wamu. All right, let's go to returning characters here next. Speedwagon was back.
Oh, I'm so happy Speedwagon was back.
I like that towards the, at the beginning of the season he did things, at the end of the season he did things, but I like at the end of the season he was in real Speedwagon form by over-explaining everything.
Yes, he's good at stating the obvious.
He's the greatest. I was really sad when he died at the age of 89 of a heart attack. It's okay, he returns in some form in part 3.
Really?
He does. I don't like doing that thing where I'm like, oh, but you'll love this in the next season. But there's a form of, it's not the same, but it's good that he's remembered. Let's go with.
Good.
The other returning character, Erina. She's
a wise old woman.
So in the last episode, we were lukewarm towards Erina. Well, Judge Meter was lukewarm towards Erina. I kind of showed a bit of a sympathy towards Erina. I gotta say, because I've listened to that podcast that we recorded, Super Amateur Podcast, by the way. I don't think we said the name of it yet in this episode. I gotta say, like, the more I look into, the more I just rewatch JoJo's, the more I respect a lot of the earlier characters I didn't really think much of earlier on, such as like Will Zeppeli, for example. But Erina's one I really respect because she loses her husband on their honeymoon. She loses her son at a young age, and we'll talk about that later because we review every character, and he's a character. She thinks that she loses JoJo.
Her daughter-in-law first.
Yeah, exactly. Her Lisa had to go into hiding. She thought when her reaction when she thought Speedwagon was dead, like one of her few friends left, like she had to raise a child all over again because one parent died, one parent had to go into hiding. I feel really bad for like she never suffered physical pain like some like Joseph getting his hand cut off at the end, but it's okay because it's a robot hand now. I feel bad for Erina. Like she had such a normal life, and then just everything went to hell when she went on that cruise for their honeymoon. Like if I could like write some JoJo's Part 9. Everything going crazy because I want Part 9 just to be like it's like a time travel like multiverse scenario like in Mortal Kombat 11, which wasn't the most coherent story, but time combined. I want someone to go back in time and hit Erina with the stand arrow so she can fight and defend herself. Like maybe they were going to attack Jonathan to give him a stand, but they miss and hit Erina, and then I don't know, just Joseph heals her with Hamon or like Josuke's there or something.
What would her powers be?
Exactly. Like, yeah. What would Erina's stand be? I feel like it would be a healing stand or something like gentle and kind.
Aww.
It prevents her from getting kissed by people because that was her first hardship of the series.
That was so sad.
But hey, Dio's not in this podcast, so it's okay. Yeah, I mean, Erina in the grand scheme of things isn't really like the most flashy character, but yeah, she's a character I weirdly respect. More I watch the series, and I like her. I like her as a grandmother. She's also cool. But as we said in the last podcast, we want to just see the alternate, like her and Jonathan just raising a family. Nothing went bad on the boat. JoJo's rather average adventure. I don't know a good synonym for adventure, but JoJo's rather average adventure. He has to go to the supermarket to buy groceries. He has to go pay his taxes. Erina starts like a real estate business. Just that. Let's go to more supporting characters here. Von Stroheim, the character that surprised us that he was going to do as much as he did.
I know. First he starts off as a jerk, and then he kind of redeems himself, and
I love what
his regular thing.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, and then goes back to doing his regular thing.
Well, yeah, but they kind of gloss over that at the end. But I it's one of those where he just starts off as like he was a prideful German soldier that he's an expected sort of plot device of getting rid of the first Pillar Man, and then all of a sudden he's like, "I'm back, everyone! German science is the greatest science of all!" and then like he does like the like sexy pose with like his arms behind his head and shoots a gun out of his stomach. Like why is the why he shouldn't be as awesome as he is, but even when he first appeared, like when JoJo uses his hair to defeat the first Pillar Man by ripping out some of Stroheim's hair, his reaction is not like "I will murder you." It's more like he's like, "Hey, stop it! I'm a superior officer. Come on, what are you doing?" He's like, I mean,
we have rules here.
So I did Von Stroheim pretty cool in the end. I
was expecting to like him.
What?
I was not expecting to like him. And I ended up shipping him with JoJo.
Oh, you shipped yeah, that's true. Great. Man,
I ship a lot of people with a lot of people.
I mean, the fact that he lost both of his legs at the end, his cyborg legs, and it took him 8 hours to get back. Like, I'm assuming he just crawled.
That was determination. German ingenuity.
Or was it German science is the greatest science?
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
It's okay. We got to quote the right memes here, or else
someone's gonna put it in the comments.
And eventually, Judge Meter stopped thinking. Imagine if you were the villain of Part 2. But anyway, next up, let's go with more side character. I mean, Von Stroheim's more of a big supporting character, but more minor supporting ones. Smokey.
No, Smokey.
It's like
he tries so hard.
Yeah, he was like I like how he followed in Speedwagon's steps, and he's thinking. I think he
tries to be a good Speedwagon.
Yeah, he was better than Poco, just because they had like sort of the kid sidekick every season, or another one we get coming. But Smokey's probably the best of like those three. Something about him his friendship with JoJo seemed natural when JoJo defended him for stealing his wallet. And because Smokey Smokey naturally fit in the story. I think that Smokey was a great addition. I'm glad he has a very minor Easter egg cameo in Part 3. So that's he's on a magazine for those of you who are just learning about that. Oh yeah, because he's the mayor, or maybe the governor now. I forget if he moved up in the world. Susie Q.
Oh, Susie Q.
You gave her a much better reception than you initially gave Erina in our last podcast.
I grew fond of Erina.
I know. I'm more saying that like Susie Q. Yeah, no, so did I of Erina, but Susie Q. Yeah, I mean, she didn't really do that much in.
Personality.
What'd you say?
Well, for the small part that she had, she has more personality.
She does. I like her walk. Um, uh,
Oh, and her with the clothes. Do you want the blouse with the stripes or the white blouse?
that girl just can't make up her mind. She definitely fit in the story. It was one of those where it's like, okay, they kind of needed to continue the legacy. We'll give JoJo a love interest out of seemingly out of nowhere. But I got nothing against Susie Q. She's a free spirit and a lovely lady. All right, and now here's the part where it gets fun. Because we're crazy on this podcast, we go over every possible character we can. So now we're going to go into all like the minor characters. And obviously we're not going to do every character in the sense of like every zombie in Cars' Arena. Arena as in the big Coliseum, not Arena as in the character. But not every single. So let's go into some of biggest minor to smallest minor character. I guess we'll start off with the last returning character, Straizo, the guy with the pretty long hair.
Oh no.
The one that you were excited. I'm like, oh, good, that random guy's coming back. I wonder what he'll do.
No.
So I'm gonna, yeah, Straizo. I feel like I'm sure Araki planned that he just need a minor character to sort of turn evil that had some sort of weight. Like, oh, okay, yeah, he was friends with them, and now he's evil. He doesn't want to age. When he recovered, he was just kind of naked in the street. Like he just lost his mind at that point. Oh,
Clothes don't matter at that point.
What?
Clothes don't matter at that point.
But you know what does matter? He gave JoJo an excuse to use that Tommy gun to shoot up the diner.
Oh yeah.
But it avoided everyone. I love that. That's like his that set the tone. I love that. There's so many moments where I look back and I'm like, that is hilarious. Like, I mean, like, I'm sure I thought at first, but like looking back, I'm like, I appreciate this even more now.
It's a big way to start the season.
It was a great way. I loved it. I think that was even in the first episode. They didn't even wait for the to be continued. Next up, the fourth Pillar Man, Santana, or San Viento, I think was the censored name.
Oh.
He sniffed around. JoJo played tag with him. He was just your bare bones Pillar Man. Like,
That was the guy for the three.
He's the guy that like went
like a tease.
What'd you say?
It was like a tease before the real guys.
Yeah, it's kind of like how if I were to compare it to a video game, it's like how he's like the tutorial boss. It's like, okay, like here's the basic things the bosses can do. This kind of gets you used to the mechanics. You're going to have to deal with people stretching and avoiding attacks and going inside of things. And but these other guys have crazier powers. He doesn't really have a power, maybe bending. I thought it was weird that when he went into the one German soldier and he turned into like that giant like fat guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like one of those things that happened. It's like, oh, okay. And then like the Speedwagon Foundation just used him as a guinea pig, and it's like, okay, we're gonna torture him with UV light now. I know, truly outrageous. But yes, okay, now let's go to I think his name was Donovan. Remember the one guy that was chasing Joseph in the desert, and Joseph tied him to the cactus?
Yeah.
As I said, we go over every character here, every character we can.
Cactuses are dangerous.
What'd you say?
Cactuses can be dangerous.
They can be. We have a full list of why they can be.
We do.
It's good at cross-promoting. Anyway. All right, the guy with the spikes that Lisa defeated immediately.
Oh, thank goodness.
What'd you think about him and his spikes?
I'm so glad Lisa took that on.
But he broke the clacker balls.
I know. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, it's like I think he was just created to break our dreams. I know. Sigh. Okay, next up, George Joestar, the only seen in flashback, Lisa's husband, and Erina's actual biological son. Kind of a waste of a character, really. Like, it's like, oh, here's the legacy. Oh, he's dead.
I know.
I mean, I'm sure it was a better setting than if it was in like 1917. You want the 1930s instead, but it's like you could have maybe made Joseph the son, and you could have just had a younger Erina and maybe more guys, or a lot. Maybe Ton Petty's still around for the sole reason if we get to say his name. But yeah, I mean, hey, and how about the guy that killed him? One of Dio's random vampire zombie dudes.
No, bad.
Ah, yeah, it was a bad one. But hey, Lisa killed him too.
I know. And then she got in trouble.
Ah, she did. She killed an ally soldier. She got in trouble. I like how we describe things. She had more than in trouble, but yes. How about Logs and Messina, or Loggins and Messina? I'm combining their dub and not dub or censored nonsense. The two the two big guys that Lisa used to train them.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I like that.
What do you say?
I liked them.
They had good designs and they did nothing wrong, and I like that when one of them, Logs just unfortunately just died on the spikes to AC/DC, but hey, at least he died to a pillar man and not to like tripping or to Tarkus like how Will Zeppeli did. No disrespect to the Zeppelis. Anyway, I like how well, I don't like, but when I thought it was kind of funny when Messina got his arm cut off and apparently survived. From Wamu, when Lisa sees his hand in the stove, she's like, "That's Messina's arm!" Like she says, like with such conviction, like I would know that arm anywhere. So they're pretty all right. I guess going back to the flashbacks, Caesar's dad.
Oh, he loves his family so much.
Yep.
Like nobody messes with my family.
I know Caesar's a good man, and he apparently learned it from his father, who went on a journey to save the world. All right. Next up, that one patron that had the brass knuckles that gave Joseph a chance to show off his. Your next line will be joke.
I'm sorry, I spaced out.
Okay. Well, this is let's see. Now you got a good. You guys got a good idea of what our recording sessions are like.
I'm back.
Yep.
He's creepy.
Yeah, he is. But he had brass knuckles.
I don't like brass knuckles. They're weird.
Well,
They look like they would hurt.
And indeed they do.
Indeed.
Not that I've been punched.
Oh, that's at the restaurant.
What? Oh, yeah, at the restaurant.
From where he eats the squidding pasta.
No, that's actually a different. That's when they were at it with Erina, and they found out that Speedwagon was dead, but he wasn't actually dead.
Oh.
Squidding pasta was just when they sent Joseph off alone, but I love that scene, and anytime they're in restaurants in JoJo's is pretty cool.
Eating is fun.
It really is, and also scary.
It can be.
But Joseph was. I like how after. Apparently, we're just gonna keep going back to the squidding pasta because that's one of the greatest scenes in all of anime. When JoJo, after he eats it, like later when they're in the cave with the Pillar Man, he's like, sometimes you gotta try new things, like squidding pasta. Have you had that stuff? It's delicious. He's like the person that like pretends to like know everything about everything. He's like he just had something like an hour ago, and he's just like, have you tried this thing? It's delicious. And he talks about it if he's like had it his whole life.
I know, now he's an expert.
I love JoJo. That one woman that Straiz kidnapped to take hostage to get JoJo to attack him.
Oh yeah.
I thought she was going to be like the random love interest out of nowhere because he had to save her, and then they were like just going to like get to know each other.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And he took. I would have been. He took
she
out.
Was mad at him.
First he took out. Straiz took out her tooth.
I didn't like that.
I would be, if someone did that to me, first I'd be in pain, then I'd just be pissed that you took out a perfectly good tooth. Yeah. If I had a tooth with like had a cavity on it and you did that, my reaction would be like, in the long run. But if it was a good tooth,
I needed that.
But yeah, like I felt bad for this character for some reason sticks in my memory because I felt bad. She's like, I have a scoop. Yeah, like they give her in 5 minutes, or like in really like less than a minute, they give her a backstory. Okay, she's a reporter. She's happy. She just wants the scoop. She wasn't even like encroaching somewhere she shouldn't. Like Straiz was just a jerk. But speaking of characters they give backstories to and make you feel for quickly, I think his name was Mike, that one German soldier that was friends with Caesar.
Oh,
and the Pillar Man.
You had the girlfriend.
And the Pillar Men just walked through him.
I know, that was sad. He was gonna go home to meet her.
That was a good setup too, because they really just more made it look like it was gonna be Caesar being a jerk to JoJo, being like, "Oh, do you have a girl at home?" And JoJo was just like, "Me, yeah." And then he's just like, "Here's my."
I could have a girl at home.
Here's my
If I
friend.
wanted to.
What'd you say?
I said I could have a girl at home if I wanted to.
And then he did like a day later with the only girl on the island. Only girl, I should say, the only girl in his age group on the island.
That he wasn't related to.
Yeah, well, I mean, Snow, well, at least was 50. Not that JoJo wouldn't be interested in a mature woman, but the thing about it being his mother, too, I think that kind of also kills the deal. But yes, so let's see. I'm trying to think. I think we've got, is there a random animal companion I'm forgetting about? I don't think so. I don't think there was like a Danny. Oh, okay. How about the last character we saw in part 2 technically, and you don't even know his name yet because you don't know much about JoJo beyond part 2 right now. The new JoJo that we saw in the prison cell in Shadows.
New JoJo.
What'd you think of how did
He looks cool. He looks like a Yusuke.
Okay, so you're actually not far off. Yes, he maybe he is a juvenile delinquent. I don't know. We're about to find out because I told her I'll show her. Maybe we'll watch an episode or two after this. You guys don't need to know our schedule on this random pre-recorded day. I think I'm just like I know like there's gonna be one person in the comment who's gonna like say this character had mild prominence like some of the other ones. Like I'm trying to think. No random soldiers. We're not gonna do the random soldiers or
this character had no prominence at all, but he was there.
All right, that's true. Well, he's going to have lots of prominence when him and Grandpa Joseph go on adventures across Egypt next season. But I think then we're good. So guys, that was every character reviewed by Mr. Top 10 List and Judge Meter. No sound editing as per usual. Just some pictures. We usually say that at the beginning, so hopefully this wasn't the first podcast you found us on and was like, wow, these guys got to learn things, and like we do.
Guys.
Yeah. But, so yeah, we'll be back eventually to discuss part 3. Maybe we'll do something else between this, because part 3 is, I think near 50 episodes long. It's the longest anime season. So we're going to go on our own crusade here of Stardust. It's called Stardust Crusaders, Judge Meter, But yes, there we go. But, yep, stay tuned for part 3 eventually. And, as we always say, at the end, Judge Meter, what's your catchphrase?
Thanks for watching. Or listening.
Maybe both. Maybe neither. You're smelling it. Like San Viento / Santana.
Smell-o-vision.
Ah, man, imagine if they could smell our peach-scented podcast.
I dig it.
Yeah. Dig it like that peach seed you planted. Hey, okay, this is what happens when we don't turn it off. Bye, everyone.
Bye.